Hey, everybody, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show and the Aftershocks podcast. And I know you want to see this next episode, but right before we do it, just want to remind you that if you have an Amazon device, whether it's a TV or a Fire Stick or Fire Cube or whatever it would be, a Firebox if you're old school, make sure you add the CMSPN to it. Just look up CMS Podcast Network on your Amazon device. Add the channel, and you will get every episode of all 4 shows for free right there on your TV. Make us part of your TV viewing every single day and night, all right? It's the CMS Podcast Network, cmspn.com, and it is now on Amazon. So get it, all right? All right, here's the episode you came to see.
Technical shit, all these new things to send me the streamer and actually okay, we are recording now. We are a total Robart moment right there. All right, Shockwave Skull Sessions. We're gonna start this whole thing over. Shockwave Skull Sessions episode, video episode. We got my 2 good friends here, Marten Andersson and Ira Black. What's up, gentlemen?
What's going on? Robart.
That was a total Robart situation. That's an inside joke. If you were out in Korea with us, you would know all about Robart. That was my name, Robert. They mispronounced it as Robart on the tag, and all the Korean people would call me Robart then. And Robart was like this guy that totally fucked up everything, and that's what I just did. Just
this mythical character, yeah.
So a total Robart moment right there. So anyway, guys, we're instead of the big long intro, let me just give a quick intro. Marten Andersson, of course. Marten and Ira played at Lizzy Borden together. That's where we all hooked up in Korea for the Great Penaport Festival, and of course now Marten playing with Steelheart, and Marten's played with a ton of bands, of course, apart from Lizzy Borden and Steelheart. You played with George Lynch, the Lynch Mob. Am I allowed to say Lynch Mob? Is that okay?
I think you're
the Lynch Mob. I'm allowed to say that. And many other bands, of course. Ira Black, along with Lizzy Borden. You played, of course, we were just talking about, you did a short stint with Dokken. You played with Metal Church for a while, Heathen, Vicious Rumors, I Am Morbid, Attica 7. You remember that band?
Oh, yeah.
I do. And you've got a brand new band called Of Gods and Monsters. All right. We got that out of the way. Well, let's hop into the new project you got, Of Gods and Monsters, which we were talking about before I realized my fuck up here. But go ahead and start over there.
Yeah, I wanted to mention again, like I did previous, because I thought it was an interesting thing. Of course, Marten and I haven't so much history together. When I got brought in this band, he was my first thought, because they were going to rebuild the band from it was Kevin basically rebuilding the band, and he had Dean Casanova on drums, who had left to continue on with Dead Daisies or something like that at the time, and at the end of last year. And then Tim Gaines from Stryper got the gig with Aldo Nova, if you remember them, because he's restarting up.
Yeah. Great band.
So, I said, well, let's get Marten. And he said he'd already asked him slightly previous to that or whatever that, of course, Marten, as you mentioned, had his back surgery, so he couldn't do it. And I was kind of like, oh, that would have been perfect. But so the next logical step was Bjorn. I thought about bringing Simon in, so we brought Simon in, Simon Wright from AC/DC, of course. And I played with Simon and Bjorn in Helgen for a handful of shows a few years back. And so that was like kind of a logical step to take. They already have a great a relationship together, symbiotic, relationship in a rhythm section there. And I'd play with them. So, yeah, so it's all come together pretty quick. We've already recorded the whole record. And I'm mixing it right now. We've already shot a video, so that's being edited right now by Dave Stabley's, that's his name. And he worked with Queen Drake and the Monsters of Rock Cruise and all that. He's a film guy. And so we're just plugging away. We're booking shows already. We had one show that we booked. If you want to hear a quick story, we flew all the way to Dallas to play this show, and the story hasn't really come out in full yet, but basically the promoter didn't have all the stuff that was promised on the rider. This is a signed business contract, so they're supposed to follow through with it. He didn't have Simon's drum kit. Didn't even have my guitar rig set up properly. He did go out of his way to get an EBS cabinet, Martin, as you know, because you're
got to get the EBS.
and that's not an easy thing. He had the EBS cabinet there and did not have a DW drum kit. So we spent 2 hours. They spent 2 hours. About 15 people. Everyone that worked there trying on July 4th weekends trying to get a DW drum kit at our sound check, and it didn't happen. So the show didn't happen. So we had a little 2-day vacation in Dallas, and we flew home. And
hey, Ira, was the promoter's name Robart by chance?
yes, it was.
Typical Robart. So
yeah, that could have been. Yeah, wow. I didn't know that happened, dude. I thought
the promoter though had a very bad criminal record, something that I'm not down with at all. I'm not going to mention it here because it's just a little bit too deep. But I mean, it's literally like, he's not a pedophile, but about one step up from that. Okay, this guy.
Not good.
And I decided to do some research on it. I didn't book the show or anything. It's like I met the guy and I was like, this guy's a little bit, and I'm not going to call his name out and dox him or anything, but I looked him up after I heard a couple of things. It's like, wow, this guy. I was actually kind of glad the show didn't go through after I saw what this guy was involved in before. He'd served time in prison, and I believe if you serve your time in prison, you served your time, but certain things not. You served your time and like, wow, that was you're gonna probably go to hell for the stuff that you did.
Well, bands that go to Dallas, be aware of this certain promoter. Do your due diligence before.
I won't mention his name because I'm not going to go that deep on it. But wow, it's pretty mind-boggling.
That's some crazy people. Well, we should mention of Gods and Monsters. Of course, you mentioned Simon Wright, a legend, played with AC/DC for several years. Of course, played with Dio. Is he still doing the stuff with the DIO Disciples? Are they still kind of active? Him and Bjorn with that band? Or?
It's now called DIO Returns, and they're doing it with the hologram.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So now that we're of course coming out of the pandemic, I mean, isn't it a strange thing? We're all like coming out of this weird mind funk. It's like we've been on lockdown for all this time. Now we're trying to get out there and start playing again and act like nothing happened. It's like remember they'd always say, you mention a band name, it's like, oh, are they still together? Like, yeah, they're still together, but now it's really the case, because it's like, wow, we've been under lockdown for a year and a half, and I heard they're going to do something. I don't know, but not until you see it actually happening will we know. But the DIO Returns thing is their deal. I haven't heard anything really about it yet, so I think there's talk about it behind the scenes, but it's not up to me to advertise it because I don't know what's going on with it. But
I'm just curious.
It's a cool thing though.
Yeah, speaking of Dio, I just saw I don't know when it was posted, if it was really recently, but you did a killer version of "Don't Talk to Strangers." Of course, the great Dio song with a great band with an alternative band. Who was the singer on that? A fantastic singer.
Well, I'll first say that was for the David Z Foundation for Paulie Z and David Z. Who passed away. Joe Retta on vocals. And Joe Retta had previously sang with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, but he was also the singer for DIO Disciples.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so he was a great choice for that because he's known for singing DIO stuff. And we had Jeff played on drums from Trans-Siberian Orchestra as well. And he joined Metal Church after me. Jeff played, and Jeff played and I before that. We played together in Chris Caffrey's solo band. So I got the gig in Metal Church after touring with Metal Church. Opening for Metal Church was Chris Caffrey, and Jeff Plate was our drummer. I got to give Metal Church right away, played them for a while, and then Jeff joined the band later on. So we had Jeff come in and play on that, and then we had Divinity Rocks on bass, of course. One of her great gigs she had was with Beyonce. She was with Beyonce for many years.
Wow. Yeah, she's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, there was like 160 artists or something that played on that show, the David Z Foundation. There's about 30 videos or something. So, you had a huge group of people, so they like to mix it up. Someone asked me, how did that lineup happen? People want to try different things and stuff. And, it's like, of course, we get typical people to do certain things. So it's like, I thought that was cool to bring Divinity in because she even said, wow, I wasn't that familiar with this music, but now I'm a big fan of it. And, so There you
Right.
go. Yeah.
Right on. And speaking of playing with many artists, I mean, we already talked about some of the bands that you've played with, Martin, but you've also done a killer charity in the past called From Bach to Rock charity. In fact, I was very honored to be invited to both a very high class, high end kind of invite. That was a hell of a lot of fun. I mean, we saw Nancy Wilson jam and Stone Temple Pilots with Chester, you know, just before his passing, and Gary Wright, the Dream Reaver, Monty Pittman, fantastic cast. And now you got a new. Stop playing that damn bass, dude. You got a new charity you're working on. Talk a little bit about that with the military veterans. Did you freeze on us again? Hit that mute button, Martin. This is going well.
Freeze rain, roll bar. Jay Giles over here.
There we go. Martin, are you on?
Why can't you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I don't know. Can you hear me? I don't know what's happening, man. I give up on this technology shit. Can you hear me okay right now? Am I good? 1, 2, testing.
We can hear you, but you got a frozen picture. But it's all good. We can at least hear you. So all the ladies can look at your self-portrait there.
Yeah, how this Sunday look over here. We had actually changed the first charity you mentioned from Bach to Rock.
Hey, are you doing this on your iPhone?
From classical to rock.
Are you because you're like really breaking up a lot?
You know, we were threatening getting sued.
Yeah. Don't you love StreamYard?
How about now? Is it better now?
Okay, go ahead. It's better now.
How about now?
Yeah, perfect. Your audio is perfect.
All right. What I was saying is we had to change from Bach to rock to from classical to rock because we were threatened to get sued. Sorry.
Oh.
Trying to find something to put a computer on. This is going well.
At least your audio sounds great. So keep the audio out as it is.
Okay. You can hear me okay right now?
Perfect.
Okay.
You can hear Ira? You can hear everything? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Anyway, yeah, so I'm doing this new charity. It's for military veterans. It's pretty cool. It's called the Operation Gig, and I'm one of the coaches for these veterans, teaching them music.
Sounds like you're playing keyboards while you're talking.
And it's pretty.
Can you hear him okay, Ira?
Yeah, it's cutting out a little bit.
Yeah.
That is cool though that he's doing this charity or this benefit thing for veterans. I mean, until he pops back on, maybe I'll just talk. So it's not.
Yeah. Well, I got the info. It's called the program called Operation Gig, and it's organized by the nonprofit school OC Music and Dance. And their final Battle of the Bands concert between veteran bands is on July 31st at the Beacon Park in Irvine, California. That's down South Orange County, for those that don't know. And for free tickets to this concert event, you could go to ocmusicdance.org/Operation Gig. And Martin will be performing with the new guitar sensation Jasmine Star at this concert. You could check her out at her Instagram at Jasmine Star Music. Okay, Martin, looks like Martin popped back in here. Let me see.
I don't know what the hell.
There you go. I was just reading about your charity, and why don't you talk about the event you got? You got one going on July 22nd at the Whisky.
Yeah, this Thursday we'll be there with Steelheart at the Whisky,
Yes.
and hope Ira will be there.
Yeah. We're coming.
Okay, cool. So it's Whiskey on Thursday, and this Friday, July 20, what is that, 23rd, we're in Vegas at the Golden Nuggets.
When?
On Friday in Vegas, Golden Nugget.
Oh, wow.
So we play Friday in LA and Thursday in LA and Friday in Vegas.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
Dokken's playing on Saturday, I heard, and Jessica wanted to go, so maybe we'll pop down a day early.
Yeah, let me know. We're playing Golden Nuggets on Friday.
Oh, okay.
So,
wow.
Yeah, let me know. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, Dawkins, they're doing a Fremont Street or something like that, or with George Lynch on Saturday. So I'm staying, an extra day or whatever.
Oh, cool.
And then July 31st, I'm doing the graduation party for the veterans, which has been a really cool experience. Healing through music. Some of these people have not had peace in their mind for a long time. And I asked them, it's kind of interesting, before you go into something like that, I had to actually take a course on how to deal with veterans and what you can ask and not ask, because you don't want to trigger certain things in them, right? So, you got to be careful what you ask and how you ask and stuff. But I was talking to one of the guys in the band, and he goes, I haven't felt normal until we started rehearsing and playing music. And he's been out of the service for like 15 years. And this is the first time in 15 years that he felt normal. So that music is healing in many different ways. So on July 31st at the Beacon Park in Orange County, we're doing the graduation party. And I don't know if you mentioned it, but that's where I'm playing with Jasmine Starr. We're doing a couple songs together. And she's amazing. She's like this 17 or 18-year-old girl now, but she's freaking incredible guitar player. It's just like the big talk at TikTok and Instagram and all those, right?
Wow.
So there's the next generation of shredders right there,
Dude, that is so awesome. Give the people, now the tickets are free. How can people get tickets to this concert in Irvine?
I don't have the link in front of me. Do you have it by any chance? It's
upcoming. No, I got confused with the Steelheart shows. I got the Steelheart link. Steelheart. So the shows you mentioned, obviously at the Whiskey and Vegas, those are all just with Steelheart.
If you go to Martin's Facebook page, it's probably there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I have it at marten.cc, which is my website, but marten.cc. I can give you the link, but you can just Google Operation Gig, and the tickets are free. It's at the Beacon Park in Irvine on July 31st. So it's going to be a good night. It's for a great cause, obviously. A lot of these veterans have a hard time after they get out of the service, and they don't get treated properly either, as we all know. And so it is a very good cause. They're doing this all across the United States now, and they're teaching veterans for free. They're teaching them music online and things like that. So it's like a really good cause,
I love that. I love that you're involved with these charity events.
Yeah, it's awesome. Hey, Martin, I have a question for you. What drives you to do these things? Because I know you've gotten involved in a couple different things now, where it's like, you're giving back, and it's, I'm just curious because I do a few things like that as well over the years. And, I see a few people, some people don't get involved in stuff like that or whatever, or maybe they just don't have the opportunity or the thought about it. But why do you do it?
Well, it is tricky because, as you know, Ira, we get a lot of stuff coming in left and right, and you never know what's shady, or like you were talking about the promoter. We never really know what is shady or what is legit. So obviously when we get something legit, you kind of see it right away. And then you get the second motion of how does it feel to you? Does that ring a bell? Does it, I sell a lot of merch on my website, and I give a percentage to the Alzheimer fund because my dad had dementia and things like that. So that's pretty natural transition for me. But, I just feel like it's a good thing to give back. We got this talent for a reason, the creator gave us this talent, and I feel that it's kind of our, I wouldn't say purpose, and I'm not going to tell anybody else to do it, but I feel personally that it is a little bit of a calling to sort of give back and help other people. And it might sound cheesy or whatever you want to call it, but there's a level of something there for me that makes me want to do it. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of, musicians, and artists, we're pretty sensitive in a lot of ways. We tap into our emotions. A lot of times we play music, because it helps us too. Not only you play music with the veterans, it helps them, but it definitely helped me through my teenagers and stuff, but when we see what it does for people, and it's like, as you know, Jess and I, we've had a lot of people reach out to us over the years. You know, it's like maybe someone has cancer and they're having a hard time raising just a little bit of money to help get by in life. So we put together a show just to raise some money, and it feels good because, you know, it's like, you know, we don't always know what our plan is in life. It's like, yeah, we're trying to play in this band, we're trying to do shows, but at some point it's like, you know, is there any purpose behind it? Am I helping anybody? You know, and it's
yeah,
like,
right.
If people get depressed about their career and all that, like, you know, I would, you know, suggest to a lot of people, like, you know, hey, try and, you know, get involved in a charity thing and help some other people, because be surprised it actually feels good to do it. You know, it's like sometimes it's that missing link in the thing that you're doing, you know.
It is part of your as growing as a human being, I think, to actually, you know, to sort of give back. And the classical rock started as we found out, and you kind of know the story, Bob, because you were there from the beginning, but it started with we heard that a lot of music in the California schools and music programs, music teachers, PE teachers, and things like that was not getting funded by the state. So we were like, well, crap, we need, you know, we can't have that. So we just started doing a little, you know, started calling some friends and called the STP guys, and you know, he got it. Robert DeLeo obviously got very involved, and you know, Chester and all those guys, and that's sort of how I got started. And we're like, hey, we're onto something here, you know. We're having a ton of fun doing it, but we're also
a blast.
You know, you're giving back, so it doesn't even feel like work, you know. But you know, I was going to say, Bob, you also know this. The metal community is pretty freaking amazing sometimes when it comes to a fundraiser. You know this, Ira, too. But
absolutely,
you know, it's like everybody's. You know, something comes out, you hear someone has cancer. It's like a GoFundMe thing, and it's just like everybody kind of comes and helps out. You know,
everyone's there to help. Speaking of cancer and GoFundMe, just yesterday, I actually couldn't make it out to Sacramento, but they had a great charity for Tom Hunting from Exodus, the drummer. That Gary Holt put on, and you know, I saw the videos. You know, Caton from Hyrax, a bunch of Rick Hunnell,
a couple videos. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, some great stuff. But that's what is great about the metal community. I think as we've gotten older, although you two guys haven't aged since the fucking 80s. I don't know what kind of drugs you guys are taking or what, but you know, I think, you know, once you get older, you get wiser, and you get, you know, I mean, back in the day, you know, it was just about partying and having fun. And I think particularly with the metal community, a lot more people are very aware of what's going on. So, and it is a community. Everyone's here to help, and so many great charities. But Martin, you've really led the pack and done some amazing stuff, and keep it going, man. So everyone go support this, man. Are there any other musicians playing this in Irvine apart from Jasmine, or is it?
I don't know. I'm playing with Jasmine. Then obviously all the bands that we coached are now going to play that day. So there's going to be a lot of the military vets band, and it's, you know, one of those bring the family barbecue kind of stuff. And like I said, it's free to get in, but you just got to get a ticket, and that's it. So they get a head count and so forth. But it's just a great thing. You see the smiles on their faces and stuff like that, and you know, the enthusiasm, and they're coming back, and you know, it's just a great experience. But yeah, I was going to talk about the partying stuff. Ira and I had a lot of fun in back in those days. We're all both drinkers at that point. You know, no, we're not really, but you know, I know Ira's not, but my God, we had there was some massive partying going on back there. I mean, we had a freaking Jägermeister on tap on the bus, you know.
Was this still Lizzy Borden?
Yeah.
I mean, that's another reason we have to give back, because we had too much damn fun back in the day. So it's like, you know, just to even that karma back out, like, you had way too much fun in life, you're going to probably go to hell because you can't have that much fun and get away with it. Like, give back, and, you know, maybe, you know, we'll make our way to heaven.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was we had a great lineup at that point. The Appointment with Death record, I think, with Lizzy is still being talked about, but, you know, being a classic. You know?
I love that album. Yeah, absolutely.
And it was a group effort. We're all involved, you know, we're all in there together and freaking hammering this down. You know, someone come in with a vocal line, or you vocal line, well, let's see what we can do, you know. So it was just a lot of fun.
The perfect mix of people and stuff, and we brought you know, a bunch of guest artists in, you know, George Lynch playing a song, Dave Meinecke, you know, so I mean, and Corey from Trivium, you know, so it was cool too to have all these guests. So it made it exciting, you know. It's like, you know, all these guys were checking the door. And
what's that?
Jonas,
all the egos were checked at the
Yeah,
door.
Jonas Hansen does a great
Jonas did a song on there too. Yeah.
You did some stuff with Jonas Hansen too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't know. I should be both Ira and Marten have a huge, and I would say fairly huge name all over Europe. I mean, with Lizzy Borden, what people don't know. I mean, you guys played all over Russia. Of course, we're talking about you played Korea, Japan, all over Europe, headlining a lot of the festivals. I know I saw you guys headline the Headbangers Open Air in 2012. So, you know, a lot of people, and same with Steelheart. Steelheart, I mean, the thing about, you know, people like Lizzy and, of course, Millie from Steelheart is, you know, people think, oh, there has been, we don't hear about them here in the States. But I know in Korea and Japan and all these places, Millie's been working in Korea for quite some time with Tommy. And now he's up to almost like headlining status again out there. And, you know, those places really have a lot of respect. And I know, same with you, Ira, with a lot of the bands you played with, you know, of course, Metal Church and all these bands have Vicious Rumors have a much huger following out.
This all happened so much. You mentioned a band name. I mean, 9 out of 10 band names you mentioned to a lot of people that are supposedly in the scene, you know, they're like, oh, I remember them. Like, no, they're still a band. They're playing this Friday. They're still a band. It's like, yeah, like most of the bands are self-proclaimed. Maybe they have different members. Maybe they're older. Maybe who knows what. But, you know, a lot of the bands are still playing. I saw Mike Davis have this I played a memorial show for our friend Rob Farr, who passed away, unfortunately.
From Warrior, Yeah,
from Warrior. Guy. And, you know, AC Alexander was there. I played with Roy Z.
AC.
AC. What's up, AC?
Yeah, and, you know,
Roy
I was
Z.
talking to Mike Davis. You know, I mentioned the same thing. He goes, I know. I tell people I play. Mike Davis said he tells people he plays in Dramarama. He says people always say, they're still a band. He's like, yeah, we're still a band.
Well, you know, people don't realize how big the world is. And you know, in Europe and, you know, in Asia, they still love that stuff. You know, it's like Mr. Big in Japan. I mean, they would play Budokan still up until, you know, I don't know if they're even still doing stuff, but up until the, you know, mid 2000s, they would play arenas. And same with a lot of these other bands that, you know, people think, oh, they're, you know, just because they're not big here in the States anymore, they don't hear much about them. But, you know, but it's great to see musicians like that be able to work it on a worldwide level. And, you know, I see you guys you guys are actually doing some stuff together. You're actually writing some music together, both.
We're writing some stuff. We were talking about trying to either do some placement stuff. And then I've been sort of tossing around this bass solo idea, and we wrote some songs for that. And, want to give a shout out to our guy Gus, which was our producer in some of this stuff, and it kind of set us back a little bit. But Ira's got his studio up and running now, so. But
Gus, unfortunately, he didn't say exactly what. Gus passed away, you know, on September 17th. You know, definitely a big shout out to him. He's a huge inspiration, you know, and him and I put out a pop record that we did together because we were just trying something different during the pandemic, basically. And we put it out on September 11th. I like to use dates, you know, known dates, to kind of bring some energy to it. And then 6 days later, I found him in the studio, passed away.
Oh, man.
Yeah, great guy.
Here's a shirt from his family made that we memorial and stuff. Gus's Crimes. He played in Attica 7 for a while. That's how I met him, actually. He was helping us write some songs as a producer and recording us. And then he ended up joining at the bass player, did a handful of shows with us, did the Knot Fest with us. And we played the Ozfest meets the Knot Fest and all that. But
I was going to say Attica 7. Because you guys had quite a buzz. You were on the Knot Fest, the Ozfest, what was it, Knot Fest versus Ozfest or whatever it was called one day. You guys were getting, you know, of course, that's Evan Seinfeld from Biohazard. And you guys were getting quite a big buzz, and same with I Am Morbid as well. What happened with those bands?
That's always the question. What happened with those bands? What happened with let's see here. I'm going to put out the autobiography of Ira. What's it going to be called? Oh my God! What happened to ... Ira Black?
Fill in the blank. Ira Black.
You know, Attica 7. We had a lot of great things happen quickly, and we were taking on. I mean, within a couple of months of me joining, we got offered to do the Mayhem Festival tour, and we were managed by John Reese, who puts it on, which was an incredible thing. We replaced that Behemoth because their singer, you know, his cancer came back or something like that, and we had like a 2-week, you know, like in 2 weeks, you guys are going to do the Mayhem tour. Cause it was like, whoa, so, and I just joined the band. So we jumped on that. And I think what happened was we carried on to do a few things, start record some new music. We tried to, well, we didn't try, but when we got together with Gus, we recorded some modern sounding stuff. It was a little bit different than the other stuff. We did a showcase at the Whiskey, and it was kind of like, it's kind of hard to explain, but to simplify it, after coming off the Mayhem tour, which is such a big tour, that was the year Rob Zombie, Five Finger Death Punch, and Mastodon were on. That was a big, huge tour. Machine Head, it goes on. Children of Bodom were on them. And basically, what do you do after that? You're going to go do a club tour after that? And that's basically where we're at. And, me, I'm a lifelong musician. I'm going to do it in my bedroom. I'm going to do it at the festival. I'm going to keep going no matter what. If I'm homeless, I'm going to be there with an acoustic guitar playing. Like, I'm going to play guitar no matter what. And that, I think, wasn't the general consensus, really. They were like, well, if we can't do it at this level and make a certain amount of money, because all the guys in the band were, of a certain age with established lives. Rusty Coons, who was on Sons of Anarchy at the time, he's like, it's like, if the money doesn't support us doing this, it's like, we're going to do a club tour, I mean, honestly, Rusty was getting more just to do signings, having been on Sons of Anarchy, than the band would make. So that kind of just shot the whole thing down, unfortunately. And I said, we have to go out and do a club tour immediately, like on our own, even if it's like a month. It's going to be hard. We come back with not that much money, and it just was kind of like, we need another plan, and another one didn't happen. So it was like, it just kind of fizzled out. And, I was bummed at the time because, I really liked it and believed in it. And,
yeah, it's a shame. You guys put a lot into that. It was, I remember the buzz on that was pretty huge. And, I kind of heard things about the story, but I know a lot of people are interested, like, what happened? But, that's a fortunate thing that people, and I understand to some degree, once you're at a certain level and you have to, maintain that level, it's difficult to go back and do, clubs and stuff. But if you're hungry for it.
It so long, what ends up happening, most bands I play in, I most of the time have more experience than a lot of people because I've been in so many bands, I mean, Evan's had a lot of experience, but he mostly played in Biohazard, so he had that experience and that viewpoint. Right. And he's well connected, and he knows how to do it too. I'm not shooting anyone down at all. They totally know what they're doing, but as like Martin and I, playing the Lizzy Borden, we really saw a great swath of how it goes. Like, you play a festival and a great slot one day, 50,000 people, and then the next day you're playing a club in front of a couple hundred people. So you have to really learn to check your ego and realize, okay, sometimes you get paid that amount, and then sometimes you get paid that amount, and it's like, you got to keep rolling with it until you can build it up and always make the amount you want. You don't always, so it's,
that's the fun of it, man. It's that balance, you got to have that balance, but playing those intimate places is just as fun or more fun than the big places. You might not get paid as much, but you go to do the smaller ones and you get the festivals. And I know, especially with Lizzy, it was like, you were doing that all over Europe, and it seemed like every country there was a festival that summer that you guys were either, headlining or co-headlining or going, you were pretty big on the bill, and then you would fill it in with club dates, which a lot of artists won't do. You got the time off, you got a week before festivals, do some club dates in between. How was the Russia experience? Were you in Russia too, Ira? Or were you? Yeah. Talk a little bit about that, because I know that was
interesting. It was a very strange experience. I don't know if you remember this, Ira, but we were playing American metal, as we know Lizzy used to do. Whatever country we were in, he used to do the American flag, and then he would do whatever the country we were in, sort of unite everybody. So he comes out. I don't know if you remember this, Ira, but he comes out on stage. We're doing American metal, and he has a U.S. flag, and he has the Russian flag on him, and people start booing and flipping us off and stuff. I don't know if you remember this, but I'm going, holy shit! Like,
did we do something wrong?
Yeah, like they don't like Americans. What the hell's going on here? But they were booing and flipping off their own flag because of everything that was happening over there.
Oh wow.
And the youth kind of grew up with the freedom, and then he kind of went in and took that. Changed a lot of stuff, and so there. So it was very interesting. It's still a lot of old Russia where they're. You don't look at people in their face, in their eyes. They're all looking down as they're walking because it's that all.
It was winter time. It was cold. Remember that? It was. I mean, it was cold, like Siberian cold. It was like, Oh, we were just like, you know, all the pictures of us hanging out afterwards. We were all in these big coats, you know, out by the.
But we remember this? We did the show, and then we took a ton of fans, and we went to the Red Square in the middle of the night with just all these fans.
We had like 30 fans following us around, like,
drinking whiskey and stuff at the Red Square. We're like, wow, you know, we're pretty lucky we get to experience these things. You know?
Whiskey, I thought it was all about vodka in Russia.
Well, whatever. It might have been vodka, but, you know, it's like whatever it was. I think I probably drank. I don't know if Ira drank at that point, but
no,
some of the shows were good, huh?
Yeah, they keep yourself warm, you know.
Yeah, the fans are incredible for sure. You know, it's like some of the places you go to, as you know, Martin, you know, South America, Asia, you know, Korea. Like, remember the Pentaport Festival? You know, it was like, you look at the people that were into it, you wouldn't even believe they were into metal, but it's like they had all these pastel colored shirts and they're jumping up. You know, it's like what the heck, you know? But like Russia, you know, they're, you know, we met some of the people afterwards, and you know, some of the people were crying. We met this one girl, you know, and they're like literally, you know, shaking and crying, like, wow, this is like, you know, Beatles level stuff. You know, like you see the old videos of the Beatles and girls crying, and you know, it's like mind-boggling. You know, you realize you're bringing this great vibe, you know, and our music, you know, and this one person, it's like, oh, I traveled so far to come here. I took the bus here. Remember that one girl?
Yeah.
You know, they took the bus and just to come see us, you know, in this cold weather, like, wow, you know. So
yeah,
that was an incredible experience. So
that's awesome, dude.
I was going to ask.
Jessica came with us too, actually. So I had my girl with me. So that was nice to get this.
With her. Speaking of Jessica, I know she's got the Whisky Jam going. So I don't know if your better half is available there. Could she kind of fill us in what's going? Because I know you guys have just reopened the Whisky Jam, doing some new.
Well, it's going to be opening up in August. But again, what you were going to say, Martin, I'll text Jessica and have her come in here.
Oh no, I was just going to say, going back to that, playing with all these different bands real quick. I had a thought about that. It's just there's so different experiences, and I'm honored, and it's an honor to have done these things. But for example, you play with a band like Lizzy Borden, where it's all about theater and you're putting on a show. It's almost like you're in a play, right? He's spitting blood and, you know, doing all this stuff, right? And music is very straightforward, and then you know, like I said, you know, I played with George for 6 or 7 years. Your sole purpose for that is to be there to back up George, to make he sound good. It's all about musicianship. It's really not about show. I mean, if you move a couple of times, that's cool, but you know, it's like, so having similar situations with Ira, I'm sure it's just some of the death metal stuff that I know he's playing. That's pretty hard stuff. You know, you can't spit blood and run around, do that stuff while you're playing that stuff. So
yeah, we actually did a tour in Russia as well. And I got to go all over Russia with I Am Morbid. I think we did 6 shows and we went into some pretty remote places. It was pretty awesome. So you know how, like in Moscow, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, fans are ravenous and, you know, fanatical over it. Like you go into some of these areas where the roads aren't even paved. There's holes and stuff. We're like, where the heck are we? There's dogs running around and stuff. We're like, what the? I mean, it was like something out of a movie. But I mean, this one show that we played, you can actually see the video somewhere online. This girl keeps screaming my name like bloody murder. Like every time we stop playing, she's like, she always laughs when we see. She's like, "Oh my god!"
Jessica,
does she have a knife?
Like shaking, like
Jessica, was that you?
I was like, "What the heck? Relax." You know, it's like. And I come home, and Jessica's like, all right, take out the trash, take out the garbage.
Well, dude, what's awesome about you, which I think is so incredible, is that you can play with the most extreme death metal bands like I Am Morbid or even a band like Attica 7, and then play with a melodic, you know, 80s metal band like a Dokken, and just, you know, you just fit right in with, you know, both musically, image-wise, guitar-wise. It's amazing. So you must have grew up on all sorts of music. I mean, you started out, of course, you know, we'll talk about the Bay Area, and, you know, playing with, you know, Metal Church from, you know, Vicious Rumors to Heathen. And
yeah, well, start with Heathen for me. I joined them in 1992, moved from Sacramento, and I moved to San Francisco to join Heathen. And, you know, so I became known as a thrash metal guy, but really I started out on acoustic guitar. So it was all about melodic music for me in the beginning. So that's where it started. And of course, Black Sabbath was my first show, and with Quiet Riot opening on the Born Again tour with Ian Gillan.
Oh,
so
that I'd like to see, man. That's cool.
Oh, that was incredible, you know, and that really started me. I was like, that's what I want to do, you know. So heavy metal was my thing, and you know, of course, being a guitar player, I explored a lot of different versions of it and stuff. You know, it's always more melodic stuff. Most of the bands I've been in were always had a singer, not a Cookie Monster singer, but like a real singer. Because that always went well with what I did, because I'm a melodic player. You know, but I also liked shredding. Yngwie was like my favorite guitar player, so it was all about shredding. But then as I grew, I'm like, okay, I want heavier music, you know, so I started getting into thrash metal. When I got the gig with Heathen, that really became my thing. You know, I'm on the cover of the Rock Detector, the HUZ.
I saw that,
metal.
yeah.
You know, so it's like I'm really known for thrash metal, but the Vicious Tumor is more melodic thing, you know, so kind of transition. I just haven't played so many bands. I like to push myself in my musicality, you know, so you mentioned Dokken and I Am Morbid. I was actually playing with both those bands at the same time, so that was
I remember
more funny. You know, the two extreme ends I was doing at the same time. Literally played one weekend, 2 days later flew out, played with Dokken, and then back with I Am Morbid. You know, and it was kind of a trip, because I was like, wow, this is like, I have to really kind of shift my mind a little bit, you know. And Don even mentioned after I played my first show with him, he goes, wow, you're a little bit heavier than I realized. So I had to pull myself back even a little bit more. He's like, we're just a hard rock band. It's like, you're, you know, but I did have fans coming up saying, hey, you brought the metal back to Dokken. So,
well, you got that image. I mean, just that look. You got the ultimate metal look, man. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. You've been on the covers of enough magazines. But let's talk to Jessica Chase here. Give a little shout out about the Whisky Jam is going to be back in action. You know, we just talked to Martin. He's going to be doing a show there at the Whisky. Is this like one of the Whisky's first shows back? Actually doing shows?
We're the first one back. So
you are the first one back.
I want to hear all about that, Martin. Like, what are they going to do? Make us all wear masks in there and stuff?
I don't know what's going on, because the case of California is supposedly like going way up.
I heard about that. Yeah, in Los Angeles.
I hope you guys have some Steelheart masks.
Yeah, I know. Right? That'd be a great idea. I might have to tell Millie.
You got the Martin masks, you know.
I do have the Martin.
$10 each.
We plan on being there, so that's
awesome. So I don't know. We're actually just a little concerned and hoping that it will go through, you know, because something won't change. And Millie, you know, he flew everybody out, because you know the Steelheart guys, they're all East Coast guys, you know. Yeah. Joe Pesci, a guitar player, is from Boston, and Mike is from Philly. So, you know, he obviously has not got paid yet or anything, I imagine. And it just like flying these guys out. So I'm hoping, you know, it will truly happen. But
I mean, how are they going to do that, the Whiskey? I mean, we're asking the same question for Ultimate Jam Night, because, you know, we'll sell out the house. So, you know.
As of today, California just said you have to wear masks again, as of today. So,
yeah.
So
I don't know.
Strange. But yeah, we're supposed to start back up August 24th.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah,
well,
Tuesday, August 24th. Yeah.
And I know you had some of the last ones you had, I know Bill Ward jammed. I mean, you guys talk about some of the major players that, for people that aren't familiar with it, that aren't, you know, from the LA area.
Yeah. So Ultimate Jam Night was started in 2015 by Chuck Wright, the bass player from Quiet Riot. It was his, you know, love concept, and he brought Adam Mandel, who they worked before together at Lucy's 51. There was a small jam that took place there at Lucy's, and they decided to try it out at Lucky Strike, and that was on Wednesday nights, and we were there, and we got fired actually from Lucky Strike from Wednesday nights. You know, I'm not sure exactly all the details of it, but they asked us to move on, so they gave us some notice, and during that notice time, we went to the Whiskey, and they decided to take us on. So we've been there ever since for it's 5 years now. So 5 years.
Wow.
If you want to see the trailer that was put together, here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Can people see this on YouTube?
Yeah, so it's all over social media and stuff.
I've seen this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was a little like, all right. Oh yeah. Then it says 8/24/21 Whiskey Go.
Yeah. So we start. So and basically, how it started was an all-star jam. You know, multiple genres of music, different types of music, and then a few years back, we switched it to a themed event. So every week we have a different theme. Like one week it would be like Black Sabbath, the next week it would be the Stones, the following week it would be like,
Metal Night.
Monsters of Metal.
Right.
It's not all metal. I mean, obviously we have a lot like pop.
Motorhead tribute, yeah.
Yeah, we should do a Motorhead trip. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That's-
Was it fun?
Well, you guys did a Motorhead one, right? I remember being at that one.
we
Yeah,
did.
that was fun.
Did you really? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right after
That was
Tony's passing, it was a pretty big night. But yeah, some of our bigger nights have been when we paid tribute to Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
Bill Ward came out on that night.
Yeah.
We did his whole live last show, which included some Black Sabbath songs. So that's why Bill Ward was there to be a part of it, and Ira got to play with him. And
Played through Randy Rhoads' rig,
I love
his guitar rig. We had his Randy's guitars on
That's
stage.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow.
I remember
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
doing it, it's a lot of work. It's not an easy thing getting 75 to 80 musicians to come out each week and play. But
I'm sure a lot of flaking goes on.
No, actually,
Oh, I can't make it.
actually, it does not.
Yeah, well, we're just talking. Musicians are a lot more responsible these days, actually.
Well, not only that, I think they just like playing with us. We feed them. They have a lot of
Right.
a lot of fun, a lot of camaraderie. It's a lot of get up and jam with your best friends. And Martin's played there several times. And
Well, it's very well organized. The schedule
Totally
together.
organized.
If you're listed to go on at 7:05
you
or
will-
10:05,
Well,
you're going on that time. So
I'm glad you
people
mentioned
started-
that, because that's the one thing that NAMM would always have these NAMM jams, and you'd go out to that and it'd be like 1 a.m. and you're still waiting, and then they're not getting this together and the sound is off. But yours is run like clockwork,
Yeah,
and
we
it's
run
every
like
week. So it's fantastic.
We end at 12:30. Every single show, and
Yeah.
it's and so it's not super late, but people still get to come out and enjoy each other, and we pack the house, so it's a lot of fun.
And you never know who's going to show up. A lot of times people just show up on a whim, huh? Musicians come out and...
No, it's booked.
Is it all booked? Okay.
Yeah, we booked the shows in advance. In the past, it's been Polly D and myself booking the shows, and so every song is pre-planned. It's unrehearsed though, so the musicians never rehearse together. They might talk on the phone about, hey, obviously like tuning, what this,
Right.
And every once in a while, somebody shows up on a
Right.
whim. Jason Bonham showed up
That's
once
true.
on a whim, and he sat in. And then Robin Zander from Cheap Tricks
Yeah.
showed up right when they were inducted into the Hall of Fame. In fact, it was like the same week. So that was really exciting. But he
And you're
showed
not
up
going to tell Robin Zander, no,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
You can't play a Cheap Trick song. You didn't rehearse.
No, we did. We've had Mickey D many times, and Martin Lizzy's come out one
Sebastian.
time. Sebastian Bach, so many, Richie Kotzen, Billy Sheehan, the whole Winery Dogs band.
David Lee Roth band showed
That's
up
right.
to play with David Lee Roth, and the whole lineup, the keyboard player,
Yeah.
Steve Vai, Bissonette, and Sheehan. And they ended up not playing because the fire marshal came and shut it down. So
That
many
was at
people-
the bowling alley, right?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I was there, and it was so packed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it was
word got out.
ridiculous.
The word got out.
real quick.
Freaking lines around the block,
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
was
they
insane.
literally came in and stood on stage and said, if half the people leave out of here right now, then the show can go on. So if anyone would like to,
Nobody left, right?
no one
Yeah.
will leave. It's like, we're like, look, half
like,
of everyone
all right.
leaves, and then they'll play a couple songs, and then we'll switch the people, and they can play again, and no one would leave. It's
And
like,
I
come
was
on, what's that?
actually standing on the stage behind the curtain during that time with Billy and Westonette and everybody was
David
back
Roth.
and David Lee Roth, and I was standing on the stage, and Billy Sheehan was just like, I'm just ready to play. Like he was just ready to turn it up. Steve Vai was like, yeah, let's just come out and let's just play.
Let's just go.
And they were gonna
Find
totally
you.
find the hell out of us
Yeah.
if we did. They were saying to them, if you do, there'll be heavy fines, and so it
You
had
don't want to mess with the fire marshal. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
but hopefully we'll get to do that again. All of those guys said that they'd be open to doing it again. And
Well, we're looking forward to it. I know a lot of people are hungry to get back into the rock and roll, especially the Whiskey. It's such a legendary place. It's been closed for well over a year, of course, because of the COVID. And there's really no other, big, Hollywood, clubs left really doing stuff. So once you got a website and stuff people could go on, or is that?
Ultimate Jam Night on any of the social medias where you're going to find most of it. That's me doing the social media. So Ultimate Jam Night Facebook page, Ultimate Jam Night Instagram, Ultimate Jam Night Twitter, and then there is an ultimatejamnight.com. But so we start back up on August 24th, 8 o'clock, and we're not leaking any information yet, but it'll be a great show. Get there early because we are expecting lines around the block.
Ultimate Jam Night still exists?
What? Yeah.
That still exists.
Or talking about earlier. Steelheart still a band?
Well, definitely check it out if you're in town. And also this Thursday, if it is going to happen, hopefully, check out Martin's Facebook and all the stuff. He'll keep you posted. Or Steelheart.
That's right now. Everything is on. Everything is happening.
Awesome.
So Thursday.
I'm going to try to make it down. I'm going to try to make it. I'll let you. I'll buy a ticket if I come down. But I know Toby and of course Ira and Jessica. But there's going to be a lot of people there. So I do plan on coming out to LA this week anyway. So I'm going to try to make it down for Thursday. But in the meantime, let's just finish up here. Is there any other I know you guys got a million things going on, but now that things are of course active again, things are starting to get back a little bit to normal. Touring is happening. What do you got going on, Ira? Anything with the new project? Is there any?
We have a show called Nomad Fest. You can look it up on the Of Gods and Monsters Facebook page. I don't know the exact date in my mind right now because I'm always terrible about this.
Like
when you playing
it's like the 14th of November. And then there's another one that's in October too.
I think we're playing with Firehouse. There's a show booked
Illinois.
Is it Illinois or
I think so.
Tennessee? I can't remember. Iowa. I can't remember. But I just saw that Andrew Freeman was filling in for Firehouse. I just saw a couple days ago. I saw a video. So that's funny. I was in a band with Andrew and a couple of projects, and of course he sang with George Lynch when Martin was in the band as well. So, Andrew's another guy gets around a lot. He's been a lot of
DIO Disciples as well, right? Or was it Last in Line?
No, Last in Line.
Yeah.
Last in Line. Okay. Ooh, I don't want to get those two confused.
Get it right, man. Get it right.
Hey, Martin, who was singing with you with George Lynch? Was Andrew singing with you then when you were with
Lynch?
It's
funny you say that because I was in the band, I think 6 or 7 years. And I think the first tour, Chas West did it. Okay. The second, and I think Oni was in there for like a split second, and I think Kelly Killing did one run with us.
Great singer.
Andy Freeman did a run with us. Actually, the Kelly Killing lineup was really good because it's Kelly Killing on vocals, and it was Jeff Martin on drums. I don't know if you know Jeff Martin, but he's for Razor X, but he also
great singer as well.
Great singer. So he's a singer. So you had two lead singers in the band, right? You had him doing all the freaking harmonies and everything on drums as he's playing drums. That was actually
from Surgical Steel.
Oh yeah, that's
Surgical Steel. Wow, Old Arizona. That's right. That was his first band. Yeah.
So there was a few different. I think it was like 4 singers. I might be missing someone, but it's like every tour it seemed like it was a different guy.
Wow.
But
it's kind of like a Dean Castronova. You see him play the drums, you're like, what an incredible drummer. And then you hear him sing and you're like, holy shit.
Right.
And then he sings while he plays drums, doing the Steve Perry stuff. It's like, God damn.
He's good.
He's really good. So, as far as other stuff, we got some new Steelheart stuff coming out. We got a live, it's a 30th anniversary this year of Steelheart. So there's going to be like this whole package coming out with live DVD, live record, live in Korea, I believe. And then, comes with like posters and vinyls and remixes and all this other stuff, a new record. And then we're recording this song that Millie's singing in 14 different languages. So it's going to be released on World Peace Day. And it's pretty amazing. Like he really sat down with a coach from each country. And it's like, he sings in, Spanish, Italian, Korean, Russian, 14 different languages.
Millie is a marketing genius, that guy.
Does that involve the song that has all the people singing on it as well?
It's called It's a Small World. It's a small.
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
that's involved with the song where he had all the people fans send in them singing on it.
Yes.
Because Gus and I sang on it.
Did you? Yeah.
We sent in something. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he just asked everybody to send in their vocals, and they're all on the record. And it's really about Millie's all about energy and stuff, you know. And it's all about getting that energy of the people and having them all be part of it and sort of include everybody and stuff like that. So he is a genius idea, but I know it's going to kind of blow up, and especially in a lot of places like Korea and stuff. It's going to be huge, you know. So it's coming out on World Peace Day, which I don't remember exactly the date, but it's called Trust in Love. And so that's another thing that's to look out for.
Steelheart.com, right?
Yeah, steelheart.com. Yeah.
And Ira, that's something else you could add to your resume there. You're sang with Steelheart. There you go. Yeah. It's official. Yeah. From Steelheart to I Am Morbid. I love it. Well, cool, man. Always a pleasure having you guys on. We had so much fun hanging out in Korea. And I still feel bad. I know we never had a chance to interview each other, Ira, that time at T Radio V when the traffic was so bad and I missed the show and you made it all the way out there on your bike. But so making it up here, we'll get this out posted on Monday. And anything else before we leave? I know we're well into an hour now. Anything else you want to promote, or any things you got coming up? We could talk about Martin, your charity, one more time. But Ira, what do you got?
Well, you know, something that I've been dabbling in for years. You know, of course, when you play music, you have to learn how to record music at some point, because, you know, that's how you get your song ideas across stuff. So during the pandemic, I was like, well, if I'm going to be locked down, I better figure out how to really, you know, run the studio and stuff. So I really have got my studio stuff together. You know, I've already, I recorded and mixed and produced my son's band, Seizure, thrash metal band.
Oh, wow.
And that's come out. So you can check that out on iTunes and Deezer and all the, you know, places you can get music. It's called Seizure, thrash metal band.
So good.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And I mixed that, mastered, and put that out. So, and I'm also mixing and mastering my band's new record. So that's a new thing that I'm really working on. I really, you know, immersing myself in, you know, Martin's come over a few times and we've recorded over here, and, you know, you see me grow leaps and bounds, and, you know, I feel like I'm getting better probably on a weekly basis, because that's all I do. I'm in here for, you know, 10 to 20 hours. I'm not kidding you, a day, like just cranking out on this stuff and, you know, figuring out how to really, you know, and that's cranking as in work and not crank as in mess. But anyways, come on.
And I heard you like to crank it real loud. I've heard a lot of people have damaged eardrums because of you, Ira. Your loud guitars.
I'm still not recovered from the Ira Black guitar experience. So.
He likes it loud. He comes from the Lemmy school.
I'm getting text messages from the family. Can you turn it down? 4 in the morning, I'm like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
And my argument was always, he was so fucking loud, right? So I'm like going, well, if he's got to be loud, I'm going to be loud too. So I'm like, you know, all describing our levels of just like here, right?
And it was fun, wasn't it? The louder you play. Hey, there's an art to playing loud. I got to mention this, though, too, because it's not just like I like to turn out and just make a bunch of noise. Like when you can turn it loud and control it, make it sound good, it's like, oh, my God, you know, there's something to that. Yngwie plays loud, you know, and when you hear him, you know, I actually opened up one show one time with, it was Yngwie Malmsteen, Joe Satriani, and Steve Vai. I got to open one of the G3 shows up at the Concord Pavilion. And at the end of the night, they all come out and they play a song together. Yngwie, Satriani, Steve Vai. Satriani and Vai are like like getting ready to start up a song. And then Yngwie comes out and just lays down this riff. He goes, and it's so loud that Vai and Satriani, both their heads go like this. I swear to God, because Yngwie was so loud. And I was like, yes, there you go. But it was like, you know, and then he just killed it, you know. But there's something to that. You know, you don't just play loud. You have to control it, you know. So I did practice for a long time, very loud in my studio. So I'm like, if I'm going to play loud, it better sound good, you know, and be tight and be a certain way, you know. So
definitely. So turn it up, Martin. Got that? So Martin, your charity again, it's at Irvine. What's the date again?
It's called Operation Gig. It's for military veterans that I've been coaching, and it's their final concert. So I've been coaching one band, and there's multiple bands and different coaches, and it's a little bit of a battle of the band for that. It's July 31st. at the Beacon Park in Irvine. And I'm going to be performing there as well. I'll be up there with Jasmine Star and stuff. So
I'm going to try because I might be in LA during that time. So I will let you know. And maybe Toby and I and, a bunch of us will come out. And that sounds like a hell of a lot.
It's for a great cause anyway. It's just
absolutely, man.
Have a little barbecue and support the veterans,
And seeing your mention of veterans, I definitely have to mention, because I know Martin's met my stepfather before, Papa Joe. He played music, and he's a Vietnam vet. And music's definitely helped him. He had a hard time coming back from Vietnam. Like, still to this day, it's like he has to deal with, the PTSD of it all and stuff. But he's the one that taught me my first chords on guitar when I was 10. And, so that's cool that Martin's giving back to veterans, because, here, Papa Joe's a veteran, raised me for a few years growing up and kind of got me started on guitar. But that's his therapy. He plays music to this day and sings, and he's playing out live and stuff, so. Yeah.
That's beautiful. He's a cool guy, man. I miss that guy. Say hi to him and stuff. But it's pretty cool seeing all these veterans, because they're from, what should I say? It's Vietnam up to current deployment, basically. And a lot of them are dealing with a lot of issues that they caught over there, not just PTSD, but other Agent Orange and stuff like that. A lot of them dealing with cancer and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, health issues.
My father too. He's a Vietnam vet as well, and a retired colonel in the Marine Corps. So I'm a military kid. I grew up all over the world, and my father did too. He came back with a lot of wounds,
a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And, mental and physical.
Yeah. You talk about us playing loud and stuff. They were telling me that they were out there shooting freaking cannons, and at that time there was no air protection. They didn't do anything. They're talking like.
I was at the gun range today with my son. Okay, my son got an AR and 2 pistols. I bought a shotgun recently. I've never owned one before. I shot it for the first time today. My arm is bruised. That's number one. We were wearing ear protection, but we were walking up before we had it. It was so loud. Speaking of loud, it was like 10 times louder than my guitar has ever been. It was shockingly loud. Even my ears kind of hurt a little bit, actually, even having it was so loud. It was unbelievable. No, the shotgun is loud. It is loud.
But imagine those big cannons that they would have back in those days. I don't know what platoon they would be in or what department, whatever you call it. I'm so clueless about this stuff. But, those things are just like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you hear that stuff all day long. The impact, you can feel it. It's like a percussion.
Oh, yeah. Not to fuck with anyone's head.
You feel it like around you shoot. It's like, oh, man. If you're around that every day for a year or 2 years, wow. Yeah.
Well, you guys, I think it's a great cause. I think it's fantastic that you all support the troops and you're doing something about it with these charity events. And definitely check out this event if you're down in the Orange County area. Down in Irvine. It sounds like a lot of fun and obviously for a great cause. And of course, Ira, you got so many great things going on. Definitely check out your new band. I guess they could just go on the Facebook page or social media of Gods and Monsters as soon as they come out. You'll be hearing about them for sure. And of course, check out if you're in LA this Thursday. Martin going to be playing with Steelheart.
Yeah. So Thursday is LA, Friday's in Vegas.
Yes.
And then we got all kinds of show, and we got freaking Texas, we got Indiana, we got all kinds of shows coming up. So go to steelheart.com and check out Golden Nuggets.
The Gold Nugget.
Yeah, Golden Nugget. That's what it's called. Yeah. So,
and of course, Jessica. I'm sorry, Martin. Of course, Jessica Chase doing some great stuff to support the metal community as always. The Whisky Jam starting up again August 24th. I'm sorry, August 24th.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you're in LA then, or even if you're not, go travel to LA for a great show, and then hopefully it'll continue every Monday thereafter, right?
That's
the plan. Oh, every Tuesday.
I think we're going to do it every other week in the beginning.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, guys and gals, I appreciate it. And once again, support these great musicians, and we will we'll definitely be in touch real soon. I'll hit you guys up when I'm in LA.
Always a pleasure.
All right, guys.
Robar!
merch.
All right. Take care.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.